I've been a bad, bad boy.
Hi everybody, it's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and this is vlog number 30 for August the 7th, 2017. And this is a long weekend here for us in Ontario. It's called the Civic Holiday Weekend. And basically, it's kind of a weird holiday. It's in the middle of the summer. It's not really a statutory holiday. So a lot of stores will be open. Government offices won't be. They'll be closed. But yeah, so that's what this weekend is, and it's been a mixed bag for weather this weekend. Saturday, it was rainy until pretty much the latter part of the day. Yesterday was a nice day until the evening, then it rained. And this morning, right now, at, what time is it, 9:34 in the morning, it's kind of gray and wet and typical right now. This is the kind of weather we've had most of the summer, I guess. So anyways, what's been happening? Well, what have I been working on? I did a large tag mixed media project. This was totally random. I had gotten some new product, which I'm going to talk about shortly. And I got some new elements, laser cut elements from Mike Deacon, and so I wanted to put together something with those items, and it eventually evolved into this. Excuse me. So just pull it back a little bit. Yeah, so this is actually what I did was, and if Mike Deacon is watching this, I hope he doesn't get upset with me. I ordered from him his laser cuts, which are out of like wood pieces that were wings, and this frame in behind, and this crown, and these fleur-de-lis. And I started off doing a little experiment. The experiment was, I wonder what would happen if I scanned those pieces into my computer. Would I be able to import them into Design Space for Cricut and cut them out? Well, here's the answer. Yes, I can. Now, it took a fair amount of editing. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. It took a fair amount of editing to clean up the edges and things so it would cut out. But once they're in the machine, I can alter the size to whatever I want, and that's what I did here. These are just one set of wings, but I put them in 3 different sizes. And I altered the size of the frame, and I altered the size of the fleur-de-lis. And this product that's shining on this, I am going to talk about later, but it's by Vicki Boutin. It's her Glaze, which I've just sort of fallen in love with. We'll talk more about that later. So I did that. And speaking of experiments, I got experimenting with my Cricut. Julie Fafe Balzer, if you ever watch her, and I've reviewed her channel before, and I mentioned her several times before because she's a biggie in the crafting and art world. She does these inlay kind of pieces she cuts with her brother Scan and Cut, and I thought, well, I'm going to do a very simplified version of that kind of idea and see what I come up with. So basically, I just used geometric shapes, and I cut one set out in black and one set out in white, and I just reversed the pieces, and I popped, I don't know if you can see it, can I show it there? There, you can see I popped up the stars with some pop dots, and I don't know, this was just playing around, but I don't know what I'll do with them, but it was the concept, more or less, the idea. She has done many things with them. Her cuts get very intricate, and she's done some beautiful art pieces using this method, and she even did a table, a wooden tabletop. She got an old table from somewhere and cut her pieces out of, I think she cut them out of very, very thin balsa wood, and laid them into the tabletop. Kind of interesting technique. So once again, I was just experimenting. And what else was I experimenting with? Well, you know about my acrylic pouring. I've bored you to tears about the acrylic pouring. I've got a bunch of videos on my channel with me doing experiments with acrylic pouring. And I saw on YouTube that people are now doing acrylic pourings, but using resin. You know, resin's the stuff that you can put in a mold and make like little jewelry pieces or things like that. But they're putting pigments in with the resin when they mix it up and pouring it out, and they're getting some stunning results. So I thought, I'm going to give that a shot because I got a can of resin laying around here. At least I thought I did. Turns out I did not have a can of resin laying around because I must have used it all up or something. So off we went the other day to Curry's art supply store, the one that's in our area, and I picked up a can of resin and mixed it all up and poured it on my canvas with the pigments. And actually I did do a video about this, and the description and the link to that video is in the comments below. Check it out because it's kind of funny in the way that everything that could possibly go wrong seemed to be going wrong at the very beginning of the video. I was spilling stuff. At one point I'm stirring up my pigments and suddenly they hardened. Yeah, I didn't think this stuff would harden that quick, but apparently it did. Now, I did some more research and found that when you start putting pigment in with the resin, it will cure it a lot faster. Literally, while I was, and you see this on the video, while I was stirring this, it was starting to solidify. So I ended up with these. These were in the bottom of the cups. This one's kind of interesting. It looks like purple barf. You know, ever seen that rubber barf? That, I don't know if they still make it or whatever, but joke stores and things like that. It's kids, you know, you could get this stuff, you throw it in a hallway somewhere and everybody'd be sick because it looked like sick. So it kind of did this. Now, actually I find this kind of interesting. It's hard. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, but I'm not throwing them out. I'm going to keep them because you never know. But anyways, then I had to pour it again, and here's what I ended up with. Not that impressed. Maybe it was my colors, maybe I don't know what. It's very shiny. Still, well, it's fairly dry. Might be a little tacky. It needs a little longer to cure. I was surprised this dried as fast as it did. It was dry, almost tacky dry within 2 hours. But so this is what I got. Now, I'm not done with this. I'm going to do something else on top of it. I might do another pour. Now that I've done a little bit more research into how to do this kind of thing, I might give it another try and do it right on top of that. I don't know. I could do a laser jet transfer over the top of it, something. I'm not throwing it out. I seldom throw out pieces like this. There's always things you can do with them in mixed media. So, you know, I'll use it as a mixed media background for something. I don't know. The only problem with doing this resin stuff, and I'm still smelling it today, and I did this yesterday, so 24 hours ago, is the fumes. Whoa. Now, I bought the same kind of resin that I had bought some time ago and tried to do some resin casting, and it had fumes then too, but I don't remember them being this strong. Maybe because I had it out more? I'm not sure. Yes, okay, you're going to slap my wrist, so before I get any comments telling me that I'm being dangerous with my health, I'm going to kill myself, all this kind of stuff, yes, I should have been in a better ventilated area, for one thing. Two, probably should have had a respirator of some sort, and actually tomorrow I'm going out shopping, so I think I'm going to go and look for a respirator of some sort. Yeah, I had gloves on and everything like that. It's kind of a messy stuff to work with. It really is. Very sticky. But anyways, I would like to try it again, but I'm not doing it in the house. I don't know if I'm super sensitive to the smell or what, but it's all I can smell. And it's all I can smell today as well. This is dry. All the little pieces that, you know, the leftovers and things like that, they've all gone in the garbage. They're out. But I can still smell this smell, and I don't like it. It's really been bugging me. I'm not usually that super sensitive to odors, but apparently with this I am. So I was looking at alternatives. Now there's some kind of stuff called Master Cast, but it seems to be made in the Netherlands. And I've looked on it online. You can get it, but it's expensive. Really, really, really expensive. Like literally hundreds of dollars. So that's really not in my sights to get. Now there is a resin. It's been out for about a year or so. It's called Art Resin. It's expensive too, but nowhere near as expensive as the Master Cast, and it's supposed to have a very low odor. The Master Cast is supposed to have no odor whatsoever, and it's supposed to be easier to mix up and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I might investigate looking into getting a couple of small bottles of it. I think the smallest bottles, which I don't know if they're 8 ounce or smaller than 8 ounce. There's 2 bottles. There's the hardener, there's the resin. Is around 35 bucks, I think. I might get some of that and give that a try as well. But do look up like Anne-Marie Ritterhoff's videos on doing resin pours, because she got some beautiful effects with it. But I just can't stand the smell. So, okay, so that's another experiment. And then I was doing some more things. Let me move my coffee out of the way before I spill it. So I did another couple of pages in my art journal. And this is my, remember, this is my reclaimed cookbook that I made into an art journal. And these are some more of the Mike Deacon digital downloads and the Tim Holtz layers and paper dolls. And I'm having a lot of fun in this art journal. This art journal I'm going to do just as collage, and I'm going to use these kind of elements in it. That's all this one's going to be right now. That's what I figured. Yeah, I was trying another background technique on here. I used some of this glaze paste. You can't see I covered up a lot of it, but down in here, these little light blue blotches, and up here. This is a product that I am going to talk about in a few minutes that I'm really loving. But anyways, I think it turned out okay. It's kind of pretty. And just speaking as an aside to the art journal pages, I did mention in another vlog a few back that I use something called door lens wax to keep my pages from sticking together. And one of my viewers, Catherine Tams, wrote me a question asking, you know, how do you actually use it? It's very straightforward. It comes in a little jar, and you just take your fingers. I just take my fingers in it, rub it all over the page. You don't need a lot of it. And then buff it off with a paper towel, and then let your pages stay open for a couple of hours, and that's it. And it works like a charm. But it also, you can do a lot of other things with it, but there's all kinds of YouTube videos about it, and if you just do a Google search for door lens wax, you'll find out what other people are doing with it. But it's a great product. It's not that expensive. You can get it in art supply stores. You can get it online, that kind of thing. And so if you're having trouble with your pages sticking together in your art journals, I highly recommend getting some of this stuff. Now, there are other waxes on the market too you can use. I think Catherine mentioned to me she's using something from Judykins. And then there's a product which I've had for a while and didn't know what to do with it, and I guess you could do the same thing with it. It's called Cold Wax, and it's by, can't think. Just looking over here at my counter to see if I can see it. I think it's Gamblin's. I think that's the name of the company. Don't quote me on that. Any of those will work, but it works really well. So if you're having trouble with your pages sticking together in your art journal, I highly recommend that you use that material. So I guess that's all the things I have to show you. What am I doing next? I'm just looking down here at my notes. Oh yeah. Excuse me. Here's the YouTube channel of the week, and this is by the lady who makes the product that I'm going to speak to you about shortly.
The YouTube channel of the week is one by a lady named Vicki Boutin. Vicki Boutin is basically a creator of a whole line of mixed media products, and I discovered her by accident. I happened to be over at my local scrapbooking store, and I saw a couple of jars of her glaze, Vicki's Glaze, and I thought, what the heck, let's give it a try. I always like using glazes and mediums and things through my stencils. So I got it home and gave it a try and really fell in love with it. So much so that I've ordered her crayons. So I went to explore a little bit more about her on YouTube, found her channel, and she is basically using her channel to sell her products, but she shows you all kinds of different things you can do with them. She is Canadian, which is a plus as far as I'm concerned, because we don't find a lot of Canadian creators of product. She creates this product for American Crafts. And so far, I've been very impressed with it. And I have shown you earlier in this video some of the things that I have done with her glaze. So I'm now waiting to get her crayons and to give those a try. But the thing about not just about learning about her products is that she shows you different ways to use them, and these are transferable to other products as well. So even if you don't want to buy her products, you're still going to get a lot of great creative ideas if you check out her YouTube channel. And her name again is Vicki, Vicki Boutin, Boutin.
Okay, so I think it's really cool that Vicki is Canadian, because there are so few Canadian designers out there. You know, we don't have a Tim Holtz, we don't have a Julie Fafe-Balzer, we don't have, you name them, whoever's out there. So it's really great that we have Vicki. And actually, I told her that. I sent her a message on Facebook and told her what I was that I was ordering some more of her products, and that I was going to review them once I got them as well. But right now I was very much impressed. I haven't heard anything back from her. She's probably busy, you know, doing all the things that she probably does with that. But anyways, if I do hear from her, I'll let you know. Okay, so new video uploads down in the link. I've already mentioned my art journal page. I just called it Art Journal Page August 4th, 2017. So you'll see the one that I showed you in here, how I did that. And what else did I have in there? Oh yeah, the acrylic pouring video, part of the series of my experiments, number 13, using resin. And as I call it, it was an epic fail. And you've seen the end result. And I'll show you whatever I end up doing with that epic fail to see if I can save it. Okay, so what's pissing me off this week? Well, these things. We all get them. We all cut them out. Michael's coupons. Not just Michael's coupons. I've talked about Michael's before. In fact, one of the things I think most of us like to be pissed off at is Michael's. But we're trapped. Because there aren't that many scrapbooking stores around anymore. Art supply stores do not carry what we need as crafters. And, you know, then we're left with one row at Walmart, which basically is crap as well. So we have to go online to order things. So when the coupons come, when we see them, when we get the email telling us there's a coupon for the week or whatever, we're right there clipping it out. And you know, it's the special offers and coupons that I'm really pissed off about. It's not so much I'm pissed off at the people who are supplying us with these. I'm more pissed off with me about it. How it sucks me in. You know, I only have myself to blame. Nobody else. No one's twisted my arm to go off to Michael's to use that 50% off coupon. This one expired on Saturday. It was only good for 2 days. But you know, there wasn't a thing that I really needed at Michael's. But I had the 50% off coupon. Oh my God, it's 50%. There's got to be something there that I need. And that's how they work it. That's how they get you into the store, because they figure you are going to buy something else. And then they let all the air out of your balloon. Because, you know, there's all this fine print down here that tells you what the coupon's not good for, like limit 1 coupon of each type per day, not valid on everyday value program, doorbusters, technology, custom frames, glasses and mats, custom floral arrangements, books, magazines, candy, beverages, gift cards, sale, clearance and buy, and get items, online only products, classes, events, birthday parties, shipping, delivery, or installation fees, Cricut Silhouette, Brother, Canon, Polaroid products, blah, 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 blah. So what's it good for? Oh, and those everyday saving ones, those ones I'm just loving. Because anything that would be practical, that you run out of all the time, that, you know, something like this would be really great to have, the 50% off, you can't use it because that's their everyday savings. And so, yeah, they get you coming and going. But it's just not Michael's, okay? Let's talk about other things. Now, a lot of you may not be at the age where the seniors discount might apply to you, But, you know, you get to a certain age. It used to be 65 was the senior's discount. Now it varies between 55 to 65. So anytime that I'm in a store that I've never been in before, I'll ask them, do you have a senior's discount? Well, and if so, how old do you have to be? Well, sometimes you hit it just right, and oh yeah, they're going to give you like 10%, wow, off or something. But there are conditions. One, you've got to be 65. Okay, I get it. Or 60. Well, that's okay for me now. Whatever. Or it's only one day a month, and it's only between such and such hours. Not good on certain items. Michael's is like that. Michael's senior's discount was 55 and over, is 55 and over, and it used to be only one day a week. It used to be on Tuesdays, and you get, I think it's 10%. Okay, fine. Every little bit helps. Now though, it's every day of the week. 10% senior over 55. Great. Except you cannot use the senior's discount on an item you've used a coupon for. Okay, I get that. You know, basically double dipping there. And you can't use it on anything that is an everyday savings item. Again, that's where they get you. Get you in the store for the discount because you're senior. Makes it look like they're, you know, doing something nice for us old folk out there. And, but no, the everyday saving. And more of their merchandise has that little sign on it, everyday saving. So they get you there. And the other thing that's getting me about discounts and things is lately I've been getting these phone calls telling me that I've, because I'm a frequent flyer with Air Canada, and I am not a frequent flyer. I mean, once a year, I take a major trip and fly. And yes, I will probably fly with Air Canada, but that's not too hard to do in our country when we only have two major airlines, basically, Air Canada and WestJet. Then there's the other little bitty ones, but you're taking your life into your own hands on most of those. So you get this phone call. It's a recorded message, and it says you've got a $999 credit, and just stay on the line and speak to the operator. Well, I know it's a trick. I know it's a gimmick. I wasn't born yesterday. But the other day I got one of these phone calls again, so I thought, what the heck? Let's check it out. So I did. So immediately some guy connected. He had a foreign accent. Let's just say, I don't want to sound racist or anything like that, but let's just say he sounded like one of the characters that runs a convenience store on The Simpsons. And he said he would connect me immediately with somebody. So I waited through a little bit of music, and I was just about to hang up. I mean, I wasn't going to spend all day on this stupid thing. I got this person coming on. Oh, and they're cheerful. Oh, yeah. How are you today? Blah, 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 blah. Want to be my friend. I don't want to be theirs. And, yes, well, what it was is, which I knew, it was something down in Mexico or the Caribbean. It sounded like it possibly could have been a timeshare or something. They were calling it a resort. There were stipulations on the dates, like I would have had to have left right about at that moment. And, you know, it was 5 days and 2 nights. Okay, did you get that? 5 days, 2 nights. Okay, kind of a thing, or whatever. That's when I just said, okay, not interested, bye-bye, and hung up. So, you know, but the whole ploy there is how many of those calls go out on any given day, and how many people do they actually get who buy into that? And, you know, they must get some because they keep calling you with that kind of thing. And then, of course, there's always the special offers that you hear about, but they're limited, time limited. Oh, my God, the panic level. Get it now, because it'll be gone. Oh, my God, I have to have it. I've got to get it now, or it'll be gone. I'll never get it at this price again. Yeah. A week later, they have another sale on stuff. But yet, see, they're appealing to our sense of panic there, that, oh, my God, if I don't, I'll miss out. I got to get it. So, yeah, there's lots of psychological trips happening on these kind of things. And, yeah, what pisses me off is that even though I have the intellect to know better, they still suck me in. whatever method they're using, they're still sucking me in. So really, what am I pissed off about? At myself. Because I don't think I'm gullible, but I'm gullible. Okay, enough of that. What's next? Okay, I said I was going to talk about, I'm just looking at my notes here, Vicki Boutin, Glaze. And I think I'm saying her last name right because I've watched her channel, her videos, and I think that's how she says her name. She's from St. Catharines, Ontario, which isn't all that far away from me. So I've already mentioned that I'm really, that makes me happy that she's a Canadian, a fellow Canadian. But last week, as you know, Class Act opened their new store. Oh, I guess I haven't really talked about that. Oh, I'm going to talk about that. But anyways, when I was in the store, I saw these on the shelf. And I've seen them there before, but I knew nothing about them. And I thought, what the heck? They're for mixed media. I'll pick them up. They're called a Glaze. One just says Glaze. The other one says Iridescent Glaze. So I got this, and this is what they look like inside. This one's the Glaze. It's very creamy. It's white. They don't dry clear. They do pretty much stay that color. And the iridescent one has got a more of a silvery kind of thing. And I think there's also one in gold, but I didn't get that that day. I don't even know if they had any. Anyways, you can tint them. And that's what I did in the art journal. I tinted them. And yeah, they're pretty good. They're very thin. Almost runny, but not quite. They do take a while to dry, I found, even with a heat gun. And if you're not careful, if they're not completely dry, they will kind of peel off whatever you're putting them on. Now, that might have to do with, with what the surface is that you're putting them on. But I kind of like them. So I did more research about her products, and she has all kinds of mixed media stuff. She's sort of the Canadian version, I guess, of Jane Davenport, who comes from Australia. She has crayons, water-soluble crayons. And she was demonstrating how they use them, and it looked really cool. Now, I've got lots of water-soluble crayons, and I've got scribble sticks, and I've got Tim Holtz's Distress crayons, and they all do different things. They all have slightly different properties. But hers looked really kind of fun, and so I thought, well, I'm going to order some. So I have all 3 sets on order. There's 8 crayons in a box. They're not bad in price. I think they're going to work out to, through the store that I go through, to about $21.75 a package. The interesting thing here is the marketing, of course. She has a cool palette, she has a warm palette, and she has a neutral palette. You really need at least 2 out of 3 of those palettes, I think. And if you're going to get 2, you might as well get 3. So I ordered all 3 of them, and we'll see what they're like, and I'll let you know. But I was looking at her other products. She has glitter. She has all kinds of mixed media stuff. So, if I like the crayons, I like the Glaze. If I like the crayons, then maybe I'll buy some more of her stuff as well. But, yeah, so that's a new product this week that I found. And I've given you a link down below to her YouTube channel as well, which I reviewed here. So you can check out more of her videos about her products. Okay, so what's the latest news? Well, the latest news. This is the biggie. All last week, YouTube has been filled with it. The Cricut Maker, the new Cricut electronic cutting machine. Yes, I want it. They have revolutionized its design. It will now cut hundreds of different types of materials. Fabric, chipboard, leather, real leather, and things like that. It uses a rotary blade for cutting the materials. And they have coming out a knife blade, they call it, which basically looks like an X-Acto knife. And that's the one that's supposed to cut through your really thick materials. It's not a bad price point. Well, it's in American dollars. It's $399. They become available supposedly about August 20th. I've already signed up for notification as soon as it's available. I don't care what the exchange rate is on the Canadian American dollar at the time. I don't care what it may cost me to have it shipped. I don't care if I end up having to pay duty on it. I want that machine. I love my Cricut Explorer. I'm going to love this machine even more. So for me, it's a must-have because I use my Cricut all the time. But what annoys me about the Cricut is that, especially that I can't cut chipboard, really. I can't cut something that's thicker than a cereal box, and even then at times that's difficult. The material cutting though, and the way they've set this machine up, and I'm not going to go into a major review of all the features because all you have to do is do a search in YouTube and you're going to find all kinds of videos with people reviewing all the details. But I will tell you this, if you're a quilter, if you're a sewer, this machine is really going to be for you. So anyways, check out the videos on it. But yeah, I watched so many videos in this past week about the new machine. I can't wait to get my hands on one. So that was the hot new item this week. So we went up, change topic here. As I told you, it's a long weekend here in Ontario, so we decided we would go to a little place that's about an hour north of us called Aurelia. Now, why were we going to Aurelia? Aurelia is just a small town. There's not a heck of a lot happening in it. That's what I thought. Well, and I've been there before, but I looked up online. They do have a scrapbooking store called Paper Capers. Now, scrapbook stores come and go these days, you know, but their websites seem to go on forever. You know, they may not exist anymore, but the website is still out there in virtual space. So I called the store, and when somebody answered, you know, here's a stupid question. Are you open today? No, we're not. I'm just here to answer phones for people like you that want to ask me a stupid question like, are you open today? Yeah, they were. So off we went. And I have a video of our little trip to Aurelia that I'll insert shortly in here. But we went to this store and it was amazing. Now at first I was a little put off because you walked in and it looked really junky. Things were piled high and mishmash all over the place, and there didn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to where product was laid out. But then I started the hunt, and oh my goodness, they had a lot of stuff, and actually it was kind of fun to hunt through the piles to find things. They had a great selection of Tim Holtz products. They had Tim Holtz products that I had seen before, but I have never seen it available here in our country. So there I was. Now, I had just cleaned out my craft room, as you know, and I had made this promise to myself that said I wasn't buying a whole lot of new stuff because it was just going to sit there. Well, I broke my rule. I bought a whole pile of stuff. And I'll insert the video here showing my Paper Capers haul. Actually, you saw a glimpse of it as the teaser at the beginning of today's vlog. But I have to say, I was really impressed. And Aurelia itself, there's something called the Mariposa Market, which is a combination of a bunch of different gifty-like trendy stores and a huge bakery area. And yep, I bought a whole lot of things that are not good for me, but they taste delicious. And Walter's cursing me because we've both been putting on weight again. And, well, that's a pet peeve for another day. You know, this, as you get older, you don't have any metabolism, and bang, you look at the stuff, you put on 5 pounds. But anyways, it was really good. So I'm going to insert right here the short little video that talks about the Aurelia trip. And then I'm going to also insert my haul that in the details of what I got at Paper Capers. So we had this clever idea that we'd go up to Aurelia on the long weekend just for the day. And, well, we've spent most of the time trying to get there. Aurelia's only about a little over an hour away from us, but they have a train going across a major roadway that leads north. And we've been sitting here forever waiting for this train to go by. And I don't know how long this train is, but it looks like it's a bloody couple of miles long. So we'll get up to Aurelia and turn around and come back home. So this is Aurelia, and you may wonder why we are in Aurelia. Well, we're wondering the same thing, except that there is a scrapbook store here that I've never been to before called Paper Capers, so we're going to check that out. But what's Aurelia famous for? Well, this is was the home of Stephen Leacock, and Stephen Leacock was a humorous Canadian writer. He was also an essayist, a novelist, that wrote in about the early part of the 20th century, and his home and his estate are here, and you can actually go and tour it if you wish. We've done that before a long time ago. Well, if you've got nothing better to do, that might be something to see. But this is the metropolis of Aurelia, and it's a really nice day for this, as you can tell, because the temperature has dropped to about 18 C, and it's cloudy, and it's spotty rain and the whole bit. So what better way to spend a Saturday than in this part of Ontario? So this is what Aurelia downtown looks like. So we decided to have a late lunch in a cute little place here. It's a microbrewery of sorts, and Walter's looking through the list right now of what different beers they have. And I think I'm going to have their club sandwich. Took a look, it's kind of rustic, kind of cute. We were just in the bakery next door. It was a zoo, but I got some interesting stuff there. So we did find the Paper Capers place, and it was really great. In fact, I'm going to go back in and see if it's okay if I take a little bit of a video, because this place had all kinds of stuff, but it was all piled really high in there. But it was like going through a treasure hunt, and they had a whole lot of Tim Holtz products, a lot of things that I've seen, but not actually in stores. So I spent more than I should have there, but I don't come here every day, so. And Walter's just gone off to the washroom, but we're trying one of these little places, locally brewed beers called Detour. And it's okay. It's kind of nice. Walter's not too fond of it, but he's very picky about his beer. I'm not that picky. Okay, so only in Aurelia we find a sign like this. Okay, so this is Paper Capers, and it's got a ton of stuff. One of the best stocked scrapbooking places I've come across in a long time. And you can see here everything that they've got. They have a really great selection of everything. They have a lot of Tim Holtz stuff, which, you know me, I love Tim Holtz. And it goes on for miles. So if you're up here in Aurelia, you've got to check this place out. It's right on the main street. And I'm sure you'll be able to find whatever you're looking for. And so that was Aurelia. As Walter said, we drove all this way to Aurelia just so I could go to a scrapbooking store. Yeah, of course we did. But we had lunch. We went to a little bakery. Got lots of fattening things there as well. So, wasn't it fun?
Yeah, it was a treat.
Okay, you can tell how enthused he is, yeah. But he did look for a stained glass store, but they didn't have any here. Oh well, such is life. So as you saw from the inserted video, we went this weekend to a place called Aurelia, which is about an hour north of us. And they have a historic downtown, and there they have a scrapbooking store called Paper Capers. So I wanted to check them out. I found them online on the internet. And you can go to their website. It's papercapers.ca. And I was really surprised and pleased with what I found. And you saw this shot at the very beginning of this week's vlog of my haul. So I'm going to show you everything that I got. Now this store, at first glance when I walked in, I went, oh my God, what have I walked into? Because everything was piled high. It was like a rabbit's warren walking around there, the way that everything was laid out. It looked almost haphazard, but as I soon discovered, that was the thrill of this store because it's like going on a treasure hunt. I looked through various piles of things and I found all kinds of treasures. It was very enjoyable. So when I was there, they have a lot of Tim Holtz products, and you know me and Tim Holtz. I love Tim Holtz products. In fact, when I was doing the video of the inside of the store, I asked the lady that was working there if it would be okay if I did that I would be putting up my vlog, and she said no problem. And there was another lady in the store shopping, and she overheard me say Tim Holtz in the video. And she said to me after I turned off the camera, she says, "Are you Tim Holtz?" And I went, "I only wish." We don't even look anything alike. But anyways, I told her I was the Tim Holtz of Ontario. And that I had a channel. I was sort of being funny. I don't know if she got the joke or thought I was being really serious, but nevertheless, I digress. So, one thing that caught my eye, and I debated on whether I should buy it or not, was this. I can't even get it in the shot, the whole thing. But I have seen this on various YouTube channels for scrapbooking stores or sites in the States, but I have never actually seen one in real life. This is the Tim Holtz paper holder. And it's very difficult with my setup here to really show you what this looks like in its entirety. But it'll hold 12 by 12 papers. It's in the usual Tim Holtz distressed antique style. And it was not cheap. I'll just open it up here so you can see inside. You can see it's inside, it's all divided out. And there wasn't a price on it, or one that I could see. So I asked the lady how much this was, and she had to end up calling, I think was probably the store owner, to find out what the price was of this, and it was $45. And that's, you know, that's kind of a big chunk of your scrapbooking budget, as if I had one. So I debated, but then I thought, you know, I may never see this again. This would be great to put my Tim Holtz paper pads in because I like to keep those separate from all my other paper pads. At least that was my rationalization, so I bought it. So while I was there as well, I got myself a new heat gun. Now I have two already, one like this, only in white, and then I have the standard, you know, the long tubular type. I think my white one, it's the one I use most of the time. I think it might be starting to go, although it seems to work okay. But my rationalization for this was, when I do my classes, I like to take extra tools and equipment with me to share with my students, because usually someone forgets something or doesn't have something. So I usually pack both of my heat guns with me, but now I'll be able to pack 3 of them. So that was my rationalization for that. Other Tim Holtz stuff that I found, well, I knew that Tim Holtz does make material. Sorry about the camera going nutso here. So move this up a little bit closer. This is what this is. These are 6 by 6 sheets of his material. And his material patterns are the same as his paper patterns, just in material form. And there's 8 of them in this little swatch. This wasn't bad. It was $8 for 8 6 by 6 pieces of material. But again, this is something I have not seen in any stores in Canada. Might be more readily available in some place like Joann's or Hobby Lobby or something like that in the States, but I have never seen it here. And I knew about them, but not having ever seen it, I didn't think anything more of it. So I got this. So you got 8 6 by 6 squares, I said, for $8, so $1 a square. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them yet, but I just like them. They're nice. Okay, some other Tim Holtz stuff that I bought. Well, I do like his little words. Again, I'm getting that bouncing off and forth, and I definitely do not have the autofocus on, so it must be the lighting. But these ones I had not seen. He calls them metallic stickers. So I got a set of those, and I got some of his ribbon as well, trimmings as he calls it. And I think the colors are really nice. And again, they're based on his paper designs, and they'll go really nice with the material too. I did buy a couple of more Tim Holtz things. Now these I had seen recently, I don't know, at Michael's or something like that, someplace. And they're foam stamps, letter stamps. This is an uppercase set, and this is a lowercase set. And I debated. I thought, you know, do I need any more rubber stamps kind of a thing? And do I need letter stamps? I do have letter stamps, which I seldom use. But these are foam, which I think will work really well with my mixed media pages. And I think these are something that, you know, if you want to write something very specific, you can do that. So again, that was my justification for getting those, as if I need justification. I also picked up these. In fact, these were the first thing I picked up that I found. These are called quote chips. And actually, I saw a video. Mike Deacon was using these on one of his pages. And I thought, well, yeah, they're kind of cool. I'm not sure. You get 58 pieces, and they're just different words, and you can take them and do whatever with them. They weren't that bad a price, $7. So, yeah, that's in there. Actually, these things, well, these weren't even, you know, you get a full alphabet set in both of these. One was $16.50, the other one was $14.50. That's not bad for a full alphabet set, really. Again, justification. Found an interesting stencil, not a Tim Holtz. But the reason I got this one is because it looks like a little forest on a hill or kind of a thing. I thought, that could be a neat effect. $8. These I thought a little bit about. This is from Finnabair. It's Patina Effect Paste. Now, I have another set of these, which I think I showed you in one of my past vlogs, that does rust effects. And I really like those. They're quality product. So I thought, well, first of all, I had it in my hand, looked at the price, $21. I thought, do I need it that bad? And so I walked around the store some more, and then I finally decided, you know, in fact, we came into the store a second time. We bought the first lot of stuff and traveled downtown Aurelia, stopped, had lunch, went to a really neat bakery there. That's the other thing I was a bad boy at. I got salted caramel cinnamon buns. I got cheese buns, and they're really cheesy. They're really good. And a dozen peanut butter cookies and a dozen hermit cookies. And like, I need this, like I need a hole in the head. But, you know, you only live once, and I may live it as a fat man. Well, who knows? But anyways, as we were in there, maybe it's the beer, you saw that in the video, I said, you know, to Walter, I'm going back. I'm going back. There's some more stuff there, I'm sure, that I want. And it's want. It's not need, it's want. And went back in and I bought these along with a few of the other things. But these are patina paste effect. So I'm going to give these a try very soon. And I'll videotape what I do with them and share that with you. Yep, expensive. The last thing I bought, which actually is not that exciting, but I had just run out of bags to put my cards that I make for people in. I've got some on order with my other craft store, but I'm kind of desperately out right now. So I'll still get those other bags, but I asked them if they had some, and lo and behold, they do. But this was a fantastic price. These bags, here's what they look like. I think the other ones I usually get are a little nicer. These ones are a little bit more what do you call it? I can't say the word. More functional, okay, than the ones that I usually get, because the plastic on them is a little heavier. It's not quite as clear, but I still think they're going to work okay. But you got 100 of them for $5. So I bought 2 bags of these. So I've got lots of these, plus the other ones I have on order when they come in. I should be in packaging for quite a while. So anyways, that was my little haul, and I can't wait to start using some of this stuff.
And yes, I made a promise to myself that I was not going to start buying a whole lot of stuff after I cleaned up my craft room. Well, I'm a liar. I'm still buying stuff. And I'm glad that I've discovered that store up there, because I definitely will make the trip to Aurelia again, because it has so much really cool stuff.
Okay, so we're getting near the end of this vlog. My vlogs seem to run, 30, 40 minutes these days. Um, so, what events happened in the past week? Well, the new Class Act. Class Act is the store in Oshawa that I do all of my shopping at for scrapbooking, and I mentioned that in last vlog that she was moving to a new location, and the store is gorgeous. So much nicer than the old store. So much potential for her in there. She really wants to do it all up as a boutique style type of store, and this new location will lend itself to that. I'm looking forward to teaching in that store as well. Classroom's a little small, but I think it'll work out fine. So anyways, if you want to see what the store looks like, I have a link below to the video that I took on the day they had their grand opening, and so you can check that out. And if you are from my area, and if you don't know about it, you should check it out. And if you do know about it, then you already know what I'm talking about in the video. And so what's coming up? Well, we have a friend's birthday party to go to this weekend on Friday night, so we're looking forward to that. And I've made that person, I've already shown you I made the invitations for the party, and it's a surprise. Shh, but I don't think she watches my vlogs, so she won't know what I'm talking about. And I've made the painting for her that I made the invitations from. And I also did, and I showed it to you last week, the bag that I did a mixed media bag for her to put the gift in. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. But there's nothing else coming up this weekend. Normally this would we would be doing RMG Fridays at the art gallery, but it conflicts with the birthday party, so not doing that this month. And what's else? Well, nothing else that I can think of that's coming up this week. So anyways, that's the week that was for me, and I hope you had a good week, and I hope you had a good weekend, and I hope this week coming up we'll see some sun, maybe. I'm looking out my window over here. Right now it's looking gray, dull, dark. It's really dark, and it's almost 10 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock, past 10 o'clock. See, there's my clock over here. You can see it's past 10 o'clock in the morning. So anyways, I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye for now.